across Table Bay from the Cape Town Stadium where we are today. You can take a boat trip to one of the most extraordinary landmarks in South Africa, Robben Island, where former President Nelson Mandela and many other political prisoners spent the vast majority of their incarceration. South Africa, a bit of a no-go for tourism at the moment from various countries around the world, but if you do get the chance from wherever you're watching this, it's an extraordinary visit to make from the city of Cape Town across to Robben Island. And from Robben Island you can see the bowl-like stadium, the Cape Town Stadium as constructed for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. And as it did on Wednesday night, it plays host to the South Africa A side, this time against the Bulls, a hastily arranged opponent, a game not formally confirmed until yesterday, but a very important game it is for Jacques Nienaber, the Springbok coach, and his charges, the extended squad of over 40. Enormous challenges, and they've got perfect weather for it as well, as they did on Wednesday evening. They lost a test match scheduled against Georgia, one of two test matches scheduled against the Georgians that was meant to be played 2 Fridays ago. And this a very important game against Jake White's Bulls side, which is a mixture of real youth and experience as well. Simpiwe Matanzima, Skalka Rasmus and Jacques van Rooyen, who spent some time playing in the colours of Bath in the English Premiership, now back in South Africa and playing tight head for the Bulls. Former South African under-20 international Ruan Nortje, alongside Walt Steenkamp, a former Cheetahs player in the second row. The team is captained by Springbok flanker Nizam Kar, who will be making his way back to English club Wasps, Muller Ace and WJ Steenkamp, the balance of that back row. Johan Goosen, a lot of eyes on him today, 13 test matches, partnering Zach Burger in the halfbacks. Cornel Hendricks, also a Springbok, with Harold Forster, who's returned from Japan to the Bulls, and then Stravino Jacobs, Marco Janssen van Vieren on the wings, and the 20-year-old FC Du Plessis takes the fullback jersey for the Bulls here this afternoon. And a quick look at the substitute benches. Both sides have named a player 24 as well, who may or may not see some action. It is an additional front row forward, but a pretty conventional bench for the Bulls. Keegan Johannes, Chris Smith and David Creel, the backline replacements. Another former South African schools and under-20 player, Johan Grobelaar, who's been in fabulous form for the Bulls throughout the domestic competitions. He is the replacement hooker. South Africa A, well, they've made a number of changes to the team that played on Wednesday night against the British and Irish Lions. Connie Oosthuizen and Vincent Koch were on the bench. They start either side of Joseph Dweber. First appearance since returning from the UK for Jean-Luc Dupré. Nicolaas Janssen van Rensburg played for the SAA side off the bench on Wednesday. Kwagga Smith started the first and only test against Georgia at number 8. He returns to that position. Elstad and Van Staden on the flanks. The side is captained by Elton Jantjies at fly half. He made an appearance off the bench against Georgia. Kobus Reinach, his halfback partner. Damian Delendi made a highly satisfactory return from injury on Wednesday evening. He partners the hugely exciting Wandisile Similani in the midfield. And then Apalele Fassi at fullback. He started in his test debut on the wing against Georgia. Yao Penkle and Roscoe Speckman, the balance of the back three. Wilco Lowe drafted into the side, so too Fezo Mbata, and Thomas du Toit also providing cover for the front row. Just the one non-front row forward on the bench, that's Jasper Visser, who also got a test cap against Georgia in that test match up in Pretoria a couple of weeks ago. So Nizam Kar, who used to play his domestic rugby down here in Cape Town, was a wonderful servant to Wasps in the UK Premiership before returning to Pretoria at Jake White's behest. He captains the side here this afternoon, a former South African under-20 international back in 2011. A couple of matches for the SAA side in 2016, along with his 5 test matches. And Jake White, the head coach of the Bulls, a fascinated spectator, delighted to be able to test some of his younger players against this quality of opposition. And an SAA team, a Springbok extended squad, hugely appreciative of the opportunity to get a good physical hit out 1 week out from the first test against the British and Irish Lions, scheduled for this stadium a week from today. And as Elton Jantjies leads out the South Africa A side to face the Vodacom Bulls here in Cape Town, it's good afternoon in commentary to former Springbok hooker Anyani Shimange.
Good afternoon, Matthew. Certainly quality on both sides. Get a glimpse. See Elton Jantjies, since he left the Lions back in South African shores, he's going to be steering the ship for the South African A team. Also another player that's come back is Johan Goosen. We have a look at Morris van der Westhuizen, but plenty of talent on both sides. Probably for stakes are probably higher for the South African A team, but a Blue Bulls team or Vodacom Bulls team that will have players that will want to stand up.
And wonderful to have former Springbok captain and midfielder alongside us in sideline commentary this afternoon. It promises, Jean de Villiers, to be a fascinating midfield battle.
It will be a fascinating battle in the midfield. A beautiful day here in Cape Town. Lots to play for. We're a week away before the first test between the Lions, the British and Irish Lions, and the Springboks.
So Johan Goosen kicks off for the Vodacom Bulls. And early possession for the SAA side. Kobus Reinach just assessing his options, looks for a carrier, finds it in the form of Nicolas Janse van Rensburg. Got some time off the bench in the stadium on a chilly Wednesday evening against the British and Irish Lions. Now the hoist onto FC of Du Plessis, who did really well, almost overran that ball, but dealt with it superbly. Away by Goosen after the pass from Nortje. And Harold Forster with a little grubber ahead, claimed by Apalele Fassi. Made a very impressive test debut against Georgia. Did Fassi playing on the wing, getting his first test try in that outing. Reinach.
Stay green, one.
And Jantjies the captain for Yao playing to chase. Some good work at the breakdown from Damien Derlendi as well. It was a feature of the SAA side's play on Wednesday evening, disrupting the quality of Lions ball at breakdown time. Bulls dealing with it well.
Stay on!
Zach Burger, who made his way to Pretoria from the colours of Griquas in Kimberley during the course of this season and become a regular.
Green. Stop!
For the Vodacom Bulls. Another hoist from Jantjies, and that's lost in the air. Hand up in apology from 20-year-old FC Du Plessis.
That's the son, as he was probably lost it. But the SAA team winning that territorial battle. A lot of kicking in the early stages. Both teams trying to get into their kicking shape and apply pressure through contestable kicks in that midfield area of the field. But first up, a victory for the South African A team. Du Plessis lost that completely as he was going into it with the sun facing him.
Left of it.
So two very experienced props either side of Joseph Dweba. Playing his club rugby in Bordeaux in France. Called up to the Springbok squad. Of course, Schalk Brits from the World Cup winning squad for South Africa retired after that tournament. Dweba getting the call up, and Vincent Koch with 21 tests, Kuni Westhuizen with 30, either side of Dweba in this front row.
Use it at the back.
It's down on this near side, but available and taken off the back by Kwagga Smith. Skips out Jantjies to find Damien Derlendi to hit it up in the midfield. Reinach and Janse van Rensburg. Second strong carry from him in the game. And then Reinach looking for space in behind that Vodacom Bulls defensive line. It's a beautifully judged kick which rolls out just shy of the corner flag.
A good play by Kobus Reinach there, spotting the space at the back of the Bulls defensive line, and both these teams coming up quite hard on defense. creating that bit of space in the background. Reinach seeing that and executing beautifully with that kick.
Skalka Rasmus finds Walt Steenkamp, and the Bulls almost making a terrible hash of that line out. Lost forward as the SAA side came pouring through. Janse van Rensburg again prominent.
I think he's 5 meters from the goal line third.
And he's coming through, just trying to put pressure on. And what the South African A team, they actually conceded the front ball, so you got, it's a longer pass from the scrum off to the runners coming to take the ball up. So those forwards coming through can apply a lot of pressure on the scrum off. If there's ever going to be pressure, it's going to be the scrum also coming from the South African A team.
Simpiwe Matranzima, product of Queen's College, and played his age group rugby in the border region. All his senior rugby in the colours of the Bulls.
Set.
Super Rugby debut against the Stormers for him back in 2019. Look at Reiner quickly through to put pressure on the quick heel from the Bulls. Burger
Use it.
caught by
Stay
speed.
Stay.
Quisson, very
Okay,
cool
onside
to make his clearance. It's an excellent one.
That was also exceptional pressure play from Kobus Reinach. They tried to do that 8 pick and drive, but Reinach was there quickly to stop that. But not the exit or, you know, the kick that the Bulls or the Vodacom Bulls would have wanted.
Joseph Dweba finds Jean-Luc Dupré, who last played Test rugby against England back in 2018, that 3-test series against Eddie Jones's men. Beautiful cutout ball from Yankees for Fassi. Really good tackle from Stravino Jacobs.
Giant backline offside. Wait for my arms to drop, please. Wait for my arms to drop.
But the Vodacom Bulls backline caught offside there at that line out. Some promising work in that midfield from the SAA side.
Yeah,
it was also on penalty advantage, but it's sort of an unforced penalty offside. That's really it's a controllable penalty from the Vodacom Bulls. No need to come up there early. They just had to wait for Marius van der Westhuizen to put his arms down. So that his arms are still up. His arms are still up. The Bulls come up. They just need to wait for his arms to come down. Otherwise, they're coming from an offside position.
Well, you've got 4 SAA players showing the referee there as well that the Bulls were too quick. Real opportunity here. Dweba for Reinhard Elstad at the tail.
Through the middle.
Quickly shuffled back for Dweba, but Walt Steenkamp has come through the middle of that maul.
You are through the middle, but you can't collapse it. 100% legal, you can't collapse it.
So the first part he did perfectly, Walt Steenkamp. The second part, not allowed. He got through onto Joseph Dweba, but pulled them all down illegally.
Walt Steenkamp did well there. He actually missed the jump because the Vodacom Bulls, they don't want to give away backball, but he managed to jump through that line out. As he landed, he got in between the South African A players. Just didn't have to collapse it.
They are mixing up the line-out options. Janse van Rensburg, the target. We've seen one go to Jean-Luc Dupré and to the tail for Reinhard Elstad so far.
Own player. Use it.
SAA side bringing down their own maul, so Reinach
Tackle!
sets it for Elstad. Reinach has quick ball again. Dupré. Both he and twin brother Dan so prominent in the colours of Sale in
Can't play the 9.
the English Premiership, but Kobus Reinach played illegally at the base of the ruck. String of penalties down near their own line.
Yeah, that's dangerous territory for the Vodacom Bulls, conceding too many penalties at this stage. Interesting to see what Alton Yankees will decide. Yeah,
Scrum down.
they're going for the scrum. Fantastic attacking opportunity for the backline of the SA team.
Where's the captain?
Rasmus coming.
You've got it, yeah, playing the 9.
He's actually come through the ruck. Well, he's well met by Reinhard Elstad. No subtlety there. Straight through.
Let's go, please.
On Erasmus, but he just mustn't play the scrum off. But he's working through and he's forcing the South African A players to clean him through. But you're right, John. Great opportunity here for the South African A team to You know, the ball's been forced to absorb a lot.
Crouch.
So Elton Yankees and Apalele Fassi just in conversation there, directly behind this scrum.
Sick.
A couple of options. Let's see who goes first. Well, they won't get the opportunity.
Dropping the elbow, number 1.
Bulls getting the scrum penalty, and it's against Kuni Oosthuizen.
Dropping the elbow, number 1.
Penalty kick kept in play by Roscoe Speckman brilliantly. And Apalele Fassi into that gangly stride of his. He's deceptively quick. And now Damien Derlendi in behind Du Plessis, and again putting the Bulls under pressure with the grubber kick, Damien Derlendi. Jake White's men will be really disappointed with that missed penalty to touch. Big opportunity to just relieve the pressure a fraction.
Well, the Vodacom Bulls, they're not being given a platform to actually exit from. We saw the one scrum, Kobus Reinach stopped the number 8. The other time, Janssen van Rensburg went through and stopped the pass. So really not getting a good platform where they get just a little bit of momentum. So the pass from 9 to 10 is a nice, easy one. Then one person can put a proper kick in. So plenty of pressure from the South African team, all territory at the moment.
Skalk Erasmus finds Walt Steenkamp.
No.
And back for Goosen. He is under pressure, but a much better platform created for the fly half. It's a brilliant clearance. Clever play from the Vodacom Bulls, taking off the line out back infield, creating a better angle for Johan Goosen, who duly delivers.
That's an excellent kick from him now. Where the Bulls need to operate now is in terms of line-out contesting. If they can regain possession and look for another kick or look to run themselves out of trouble, then they're in the mix here. But the South African A team set up with Marco van Staden in the back, so chances are they might have a run and then look for kick space once again.
Dweber for Duprier, away by Reinach. Yankees and Derlendi, some slick handling. Yao Penkle. Well watched defensively. Little pop inside from Vincent Koch now. Another well set ball for Kobus Reinach, who has a little go himself and bursts through the tackle. Fassi. Wonderful line from Apalele Fassi, and just as he did on test debut on the wing against Georgia, he finishes in style.
Well, the territory was all South African and the pressure had to show some time. This time the South African A team not going with the maul, deciding to go out wide, but because Reinach runs out wide, he beats the forward on the outside, then holds onto the ball in both hands, just waiting for the support. I thought Du Plessis was next to Fassi. He could have done a better job there, but well done by Kobus Reinach. That sideways run, picking out the slow defender, going on his outside, but then straightening up, ball in both hands, looking for the pass, and off to Fassi.
Elton Yankees adds the extra couple.
Yeah, constant pressure by the SA team and eventually getting some points on the board. Kobus Reinach so dangerous around those rucks. Skalk Erasmus not being able to stop him there, and Fassi with the support line. So quick, no chance catching him.
He was prominent as well in the build-up as he returned the kick up for Lele Fassi, so really slotting in at this level so seamlessly.
Stay green.
Way for Damien Derlendi, fielded by FC Du Plessis. Johan Goosen. Show of the ball from him, and then the cover tackle made by Kwagga Smith, who's quickly up to make another contribution. Harold Forster. Nordkeer for Matanzima. Slightly awkward ball for Berger, and just a little delayed pass from Goosen. Steenkamp. He had Stravino Jacobs away to his left. Probably the right decision, though. There was no room force Trevino Jacobs there, tight to the touchline.
Well, that's promising from the Vodacom Bulls. You saw Goosen's involvement first with the counter attack and then the pass over the top. But the Bulls managing to generate quick ball, that pass to Matanzima, a little bit of a line break, so quick ball generated. But Goosen, that was a great pass from him to Steenkamp. And, you know, the Bulls getting into their rhythm. Jake White will be pleased with that little phase of play. Also from a bad kick from Damian Dalinda that gave the Bulls that opportunity.
Ruan Nokia is the target, no more, and Steenkamp comes on a very direct line and at good pace as well. Burger, Erasmus, no way through for the Bulls hooker on that short side. Jacques van Rooyen asking for reinforcements. He wants support into contact as he makes the pick and go, which he gets from Ruan Nokia. Away by Burger. It's time for Nizam Kar. Not making headway with the pick and goes, but Marius van der Westhuizen has a penalty advantage. One of the SAA players with hands beyond the ball and trying to make the steal. Goosen. Little pop up for Harold Forster.
Side number 5 and 3, and not a great picture there for the contest.
Nicolaas Janssen van Rensburg and Vincent Koch, the men caught offside.
Can we go?
Well, it's going to be the tap and go, because is it Nokia close to the ball, or they're going to look for the scrum?
It's
this looks familiar, doesn't it?
WJ Steenkamp who makes the tap and go with support from Nokia. Then Muller ace.
Ball is out. Clearly out.
The ball called out by the referee, but it has been recycled back on the Bulls side. Looked as though the SAA team might have effected a steal there. Erasmus looking for a way over the top of the ruck.
Advantage 2. You're never legal there off your feet.
Penalty advantage against Joseph Dweba as Matanzima makes
Number 2.
a surge, but nothing coming. So we had a series of penalties against the Vodacom Bulls down near their line. Now 3 in a row against the SAA side.
Yeah, I mean, we had a chat with Skalkberg. I remember mentioning Exeter do this a lot. But what happens is also the penalty count goes higher, then the ref is forced to go for the card. So I'm surprised they're going for the scrum here. You tap and go, chancellor, you wait for the penalty again, then you know you're forcing the ref's hand.
Yeah, we saw the same situation on Wednesday between the SA team and the British and Irish Lions.
Let's go, please.
The Lions continuing with a tap and go, where we thought they should have gone for the scrum opportunity, playing against 13. This time around, the Vodacom Bulls deciding for the scrum, where possibly the tap and go would have been a better opportunity.
And the backs just sit and watch while the forwards fight amongst each other, John.
Some things never change.
Split line for the Vodacom Bulls. With Goosen away to the right of the scrum. It's Cornel Hendricks who's taken up position directly behind.
Fine. Set.
Very quick heel and a pick up at the back by Steenkamp, who is trying to bully his way through. Burger, Hendricks.
Advantage. Number 13, please. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't look good. Also,
never onside. Yes.
Similani, but
He was never onside.
John Dupere holding his knee as he went down in that tackle. That does not look good at all. Yeah, you got to feel for this man. I mean, John, I was just having a go here, but he's actually hasn't been involved the last couple of phases. Penalties, it's a build-up of penalties, and unfortunately he finds himself in the wrong position. This is worrying. This is exactly what the coaches wouldn't want.
Yeah, that is a big concern for the SA team. Also, if you look at the bench, only Jasper Visser, and there we see the knee, possibly a medial ligament being heard there. But no real reserves for the SA team in the second row, which makes it very difficult.
At the scrum. Okay. I haven't seen it. Yeah, I will be there. Thanks.
So Jean-Luc Dupré wearing number 4. That is going to mean if he has to come off, which it doesn't look like he will come off. He's trying to run it off. Reynard Elstad is in conversation with him. He's the only man really who could take over in that lock position.
Okay.
With Jasper Wiese, the only non-front row forward on the bench.
What are you doing?
Ivan Etzebeth. Prominent performance from him against the British and Irish Lions in the SAA colours on Wednesday evening. Yep, okay, you're on screen, Evan. Lovely rocking of the bucket hat from Malcolm Marx as well.
Work on the height.
Warm winter's day.
Well, Jean, with Similani off, what's the right move to play for the Vodacom Bulls?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's just being able to manipulate the defence. Obviously, they're one short defensively, so Kobus Reinach did pretty well in the previous phase to stop the pick and go from Aiton to play left. So they want to block off the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the SAA team, and the Bulls would want to exploit the overlap that they can create on their left-hand side.
Set.
And as the scrum is set, Johan Goosen just takes a trot over to the left, but now he and Stravino Jacobs go away to the right. Another pickup from Steenkamp. Good tackle from Jantjies, and with some assistance from Kwagga Smith as well to keep the big Vodacom Bulls number 8 out. Matanzima and Burger for Jacques van Rooyen this time. Erasmus almost going straight to ground on that carry, but building through the phases. Little touch inside from Goosen for Forster.
Advantage.
And Burger on a penalty advantage. Uses to dart around the ruck, and the ball is held up, but penalty advantage was being played.
Well, the Bulls strangling the South African A team down this side. It's really relentless, but South African, you can only hold on for so long, and you can see Kwagga Smith, if you watch him, he's trying to go for the steal the whole time.
Captain.
And again, the decision now, do you tap and go, do you create,
and then number 6, who's in
do you go for the scrum? I think the scrum being a really, really good option
way
for
too
the
late.
Bulls at this
Way
stage.
too late. You've got to get the discipline, because otherwise another one will go.
Well, clear instruction from referee Marius van der Westhuizen. You've got to get your discipline or another one will go. We saw this against the British and Irish Lions just before half-time. Yeah, clearly
That's
a hand
cynical.
in there.
Yeah,
that is cynical.
That is very cynical. Ruck form, no hands allowed.
Wandisile Similani, a former South African Junior Player of the Year. He got that award in 2020. Seen him in some sparkling form in the colours of the Sigma Lions up in Johannesburg. Making his way steadily towards higher honours. All 5 of those penalties down in this area. Hence the warning from Marius van der Westhuizen.
You can sort of see the inexperience of Steenkamp. You know, that ball, if you're going to play that channel 1 ball, play it quickly. At one stage, the Bulls actually went for the double shove, and it was on there. He just needed to keep that ball in, and probably could have gone for the big or the pushover scrum. He was almost hesitant in between plays. So if he's going to pick and go, you want to pick and go, beat the loose forward, run towards Jantjies, generate quick ball, then the overlap is on.
Yeah, I mean, also, if they want to attack the left-hand side, the Vodacom Bulls, maybe it's better for the 8 to roll out and 9 to play it from the base. They take the SAA 9 out of play then.
Well, this time it's the SAA side that get reward.
Clearly under pressure.
It's on that side of the scrum. Jacques van Rooyen, the man taking the pressure from Koenie Oosthuizen, according to the referee.
That's well done from Koenie Oosthuizen. that's where the debate is. You know, at tap and go, there's no risk of losing the ball, but a scrum does tie in defenders. But then you got to win the scrum. But Kuni Oosthuizen under Van Rooyen, who's already going in. Kuni Oosthuizen changed his angle there.
That spider cam does give you a whole new perspective on scrumming, doesn't it?
Exactly. As you can see, it's meant to be spine and line and scrumming straight. You've got to earn the turn.
Not straight. It's the call against Joseph Dweba.
Option E. Scrum the line out. Scrum down. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Route.
I mentioned Steenkamp packing down at the back of the scrum. Shim, just 20 years of age, along with FC Du Plessis. They played at the same time at that rugby nursery, Grey College in Bloemfontein. A beautiful tackle from Damien Delendi. My goodness, what a big hit that was in the midfield that forced the mistake. There's then a knock on both sides.
It's not just the tackle, Matthew. It's getting up back on his feet again and stealing the ball, competing at the breakdown. So solid by Damien Delendi.
Yeah, and also, you know, just you're talking about that's also a hospital pass to Cornel Hendricks. You know, the big 8 beaten with loose forwards, they'd rather take the ball up. Nizam Carr's there, he can clean you. But yeah, Hendricks is a sitting. Look at this, straight there. There's nothing he can do there. Nothing he can do.
And just high enough as well that Delendi could get the hit in around the ribs. Oof.
You just close your eyes and pray there when you get that sort of ball.
Crouch.
Wonderful to see Delendi back in such good form on Wednesday evening after spending considerable time out of the game with those burns. This time the penalties against Kuni Oosthuizen.
It's the angles of both props. You know, both props need to square up and actually scrum straight. So if you look at the spider cam or the camera on top there, Van Rooyen slowly scrumming towards the hole, towards the hooker, and Kuni Oosthuizen's following him. So that angle turns in.
Injury, number 1.
Binders lost on both sides, collapses. Angles from both props need to be straighter.
Well, the SA team has got quite a few props on the bench and one substitute already. Thomas du Toit on the field, he's replaced Kuni Oosthuizen.
Schalke Rasmus. Not held by Walt Steenkamp. Unforced error from the Bulls. Not a huge amount of pressure being applied on their line out there. So they've had their opportunities down here in SAA territory.
Yeah, and the thing is, the difference is that the South African A team will go to the other side of the field and they'll score with 1 or 2 opportunities. The Bulls, or the Vodacom Bulls, have had, I think, 4 or 5 scrums, a couple of tap and goes, a line out. You know, you need to convert those because you won't get this territorial dominance the whole time. Eventually, the South African A team will get out and they'll be a lot more clinical.
So with a lot of set pieces, time has ticked away quite quickly on the yellow card shown to Wandisile Simelane. Thomas du Toit and at loose head for Kuni Oosthuizen. 12 test matches to his name.
And with the amount of loose heads on the bench, chances are they're going to rotate the props in about 25 minutes, or every 20-25 minutes there'll be a substitution.
Pick up at the back from Kwagga Smith.
Tackler.
And Nizam Carr holding on grimly in the tackle. A decent platform created for SAA's captain, Elton Jantjies, to make his clearance. much more solid at scrum time from SAA. Thomas du Toit, one of the players, he was a replacement at Rugby World Cup, replaced Trevor Nyakane. That's gone way skew.
Not straight.
You Shimmy, that reminded me of you.
It's pretty similar.
Mine would have been a little bit more skew. But Skalki Erasmus, a good hooker. I'm not sure. I mean, they're going for the ball over the top to try to get it to the center. Just an individual error. And he's a very good line-out thrower.
Good to see Rassie Erasmus back here with his water bib on. Absolutely loved the banter during the week after the midweek game, and some advice being given to him from the British and Irish Lions camp about, you know, when you're running water, just always remember to take the water.
It makes things more interesting for Saturday week's time, doesn't it?
Pick up again from Kwagga Smith.
Stop, right. Okay, you're onside.
And Reinach with the left-footed grubber. They were working up that short side. Almost a brilliant read from Jarl Penkler. Kicks it straight into the hands of Cornel Hendricks. Jacobs. Oh, and Harold Forster slapping the ball back and hacked into touch by Stravino Jacobs. It was really on there for the Bulls.
Yeah, Jarl Penkler almost scored an own goal there. Straight into the keeper's hand. But also, Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg, you got to actually see him covering or scrambling across to make the tackle, so forcing Stravino to actually sort of suck in the defender and try to get that pass over the top. But the Vodacom Bulls getting all the territory.
Dupree wins a good solid line-out ball under pressure at the front, and SAA happy to maul with Dweba in possession.
Use it down 9.
Very quickly, the Vodacom Bulls forwards fanning out away from that contact area to create the defensive wall.
Stay back foot. Get up. Okay, all onside.
Reinach's hoist. Jacobs will be tested. Lost it backwards.
Backwards of blue.
And Nizam Kar there to pick up the scraps. Time up on the yellow card. So at next break in play, SAA will be back to 15 with the return of Wandisile Simelane. Steenkamp with yet another carry. Really has been the go-to in terms of taking contact. Steenkamp flicked on by Forster. And Marco Janssen van Vuren quickly into his stride. Such a versatile player for Jake White. Played much of the domestic season in the midfield in the number 13 jersey. Well, they were trying to go coast to coast and use the full width on both sides, but the accuracy of the pass costing the Vodacom Bulls.
Was that Skalki Erasmus? He had time. He had more than enough time to catch and pass that ball. So we go back to where it all started now.
Yeah, and credit to the SA defensive system, you know, really working hard across the field, putting pressure on the passes of the Vodacom Bulls and, you know, forcing them to eventually make that mistake. Coast to coast, yeah, yes, but no ground really being made by the Bulls team.
Full-man line-out, Janssen van Rensburg under pressure, Reinach.
And John, just to talk about the defense, the South African A team, even when there's a misread, the cover defense or the scrambling defense always works hard to almost try to get back in a dominant situation. So it's high risk, high reward, but there's also, you also mitigate that by working hard off the ball when there's a line break.
Yeah, exactly. The inside defenders work so hard to help on the outside if they do get the passes away. But it's working in 3s and 4s together, and it seems like, especially the SA backline, doing that really well at the moment.
Short to Matanzima, away by Jacobs and Huerson and Carr. Beautiful offload for Duplessis, and then Janssen van Vuren was out wide, couldn't gather. Hacked through by the SAA side, and Jean-Luc Dupree opting not to go over the ball, trying to make a challenge over it when
Ball without hands on the ball.
Johan Goosen tried to secure it on the ground. Steenkamp. And Goosen, lovely deft touch from him, but has he got too much on that kick? No, well weighted. Yankees back to make the clearance up between his own 10-meter and halfway line, but quickly taken by Goosen, Jacobs, Hendricks. Matanzima.
Off your feet. Blue, 3, stop.
Goosen. And Elton Yankees made an early call, lost it backwards. Quagga Smith back in cover. Talking during the week about the role of a number 8 in a green and gold jersey in the Dwayne Vermeulen era. Has to cover a lot of backfield. Quagga Smith doing it well there. Another hoist from Yankees. Pinkley after it, and Jacobs losing it forward. Similani securing on the ground. Fassi. Dupria.
Side number 1, blue.
The penalty advantage against Simpiwe Matanzima. Yankees. And Janse van Rensburg looking to free his arms in the tackle, finds Vincent Koch, and then Dweba away to his left. Reiner had a little think about the short side there, through the hands of Elstad, and then over the top from Similani. Just out of the reach of Damian Dalendi, but on a penalty advantage.
Long phase of play from both teams. All started off, I thought Nizam Kar, the ball's managing to find a bit of space out wide. You know, you make the line breaks, but you also got to be accurate in terms of finishing it off. The ACA team striking back, managing to find a little bit of room to operate. Again, we mentioned that the Vodacom Bulls had plenty of opportunity. Now it's the ACA team just before halftime. But Nizam Kar, this is beautiful. He actually drifts off the pass here, so he beats the defender on the outside, forcing Roscoe Speckman to come in. Then it's space out wide. The big men doing delicate things to make the backs look good again, John. But really promising attack from the Bulls.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not being able to capitalize those attacking opportunities into scoring points, and the SAA team here will hoping to add to the 7 points they already have.
Dweba finds Elstad. Vincent Koch. And Thomas du Toit. And lost forward in contact, so both sides are battling to get rhythm into the game, struggling to take the ball through multiple phases. We've spoken about the Bulls not taking advantage of some of the numerical advantage they've created to the outside, with some passing not going their way. And now Thomas du Toit losing forward in the carry.
Yeah, and a substitute on the Vodacom Bulls side as well, Skalki Rasmus. He's been replaced by Johan Grobler, right in the middle of that scrum.
His trademark bright red scrum cap. Both these Vodacom Bulls hookers, national representatives at school and under 20 level, a year apart. Steenkamp with another powerful carry off the base of the scrum. Another deft little touch from Goosen at first, but caught by the second wave of defence. But Elstad working hard in there against Grobler.
9-7.
Pulled out of the attempted steal, Reynard Elstad, after he was quickly back onto his feet to contribute. Goosen not finding touch. Here's Apalele Fassi, scorer of the only try so far.
Just straight down, please. Just a bit air, please. First guy is just straight off.
Marco van Staden, the man penalised for going off his feet at that tackle area. One of the few who started against the British and Irish Lions here on Wednesday evening, who once again got a start.
There, and it was just a clear ceiling off.
The others being Damien Delendi
it's okay.
and Joseph Dweba.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Pelela Fassi.
Thank you.
All is beautiful to watch, but Van Staden, everyone's getting in the mix. It's quite brutal in terms of confrontations. Morris van der Westhuizen's handled that well.
Down it comes for Burger Goosen, and a wonderful line from Harold Forster in the midfield. Required absolute precision, but the ball's been turned over. And Fassi spotting huge amount of space in the backfield, and Roscoe Speckman is after this. So too Johan Goosen for the Bulls. And a real fight in there. It's gone over the touchline off a Bull's hand.
Green ball.
And great work by Roscoe Speckman. You know, as a winger, you can just stay there on the wing and get cold, because he hasn't had many opportunities. But one opportunity to give a big sprint down the side there, putting pressure on Johan Goosen and forcing the mistake by them, and another attacking opportunity for the SAA team. Hopefully they can execute a bit better than the previous time.
And John, how good was that break from Harold Forster, or that line you ran?
Yeah, nice start to play by the Bulls there. You can see trying some stuff, and that time around getting it right.
Well, more pressure on the SAA line-out, forced into the tap. They'll do some good work to just consolidate that possession. Wasn't the launch that they necessarily wanted. Here's Damien Delendi doing a good tackle out of Simpiwe Matanzima. Flat ball for Simelane.
Advantage 10 blue offside.
Penalty advantage against the Bulls. Van Staden's carry, playing against his franchise teammates here this afternoon. Fassi, long ball over the top on the bounce for Speckman. And then Simelane and Thomas du Toit. Half a metre short. And Speckman for Simelane. Just too much space, too much time over on the left. And Wandisile Simelane has the second try of the game.
Bulls have had to work hard for that try. Think of how many phases they defended the other side of the field.
Thank you.
But what I like here is Roscoe Speckman trying to keep the ball alive, but then he moves off to 9, he goes to scrum off, and he's got the ability to know that Kobus Reinach is in, there's space out wide. He goes from wing to scrum off, makes the right decision.
Thank you.
Wandisile Simelane over for the try. But excellent, smart play from Roscoe Speckman.
Simelane will be delighted with that. We felt there was an element of injustice in his yellow card after a series of penalties down near the SAA line. He was the man who came up quickly out of the defensive line, actually got stepped as well by Cornel Hendricks. Slipped in trying to make the tackle, had no real effect, but he was the man caught offside after a number of penalties within 5 meters of the SAA line. Spent his 10 minutes of the bin. And no damage done on the scoreboard during that time, and now he gets the second try just seconds before the half-time break. Elton Yankees starts it at that right-hand upright, fading back in to add the extra 2.
Yeah, lovely kick by the SAA captain. We see Roscoe Speckman here stepping, seeing the space on the inside. Simelane with the big front rower, so close to scoring the try there, Thomas du Toit. The second play by Roscoe Speckman, and then Simelane going over for the 5-pointer to add to his 10 minutes in the sim.
Damien Delendi gathering. Deep restart from Goosen.
9.
Kobus Reinach. Just wondering if he could kick it out to bring an end to the half. Good to see he wanted to keep things going before the siren had finished its sound, and Goosen sets it up for Burger. Steenkamp. Walt Steenkamp this time.
Tackle out, Max!
Burger for Simelane, then for Jacques van Rooyen. Two Bulls props being asked to carry. Goosen thinking about the kick, then away for Cornel Hendricks. Nizam Carr caught way behind the gain line. Some wonderful defensive speed from the SAA side, but Harold Forster again showing up well on attack. It was almost an intercept opportunity for Ja Penkle. Away by Steenkamp for Jacobs, and Elstad dragging him towards touch, and eventually Amy Barrett-Turon's flag is just up. Marius van der Westhuizen's whistle brings an end to the first 40 minutes of this relatively hastily arranged game between South Africa and the Bulls. 2 tries from Fassi and Simelane. Half-time in Cape Town, South Africa A 14, the Bulls 0.
Half-time at the Cape Town Stadium as South Africa A leading the Vodacom Bulls 14-0. Lots of enterprise by the Bulls, but just not getting those points and not getting those tries at the moment. Have been having much of the ball, but not getting the result that they want at this point. I'm still joined in studio by Brayton, Nick, as well as Skulk. Gentlemen, just looking at that first half, the yellow cards probably another talking point going into the first test because of that discipline. Talk me through Wandisile Simelane.
Well, Wandisile Simelane, unfortunately, there was multiple infringements. You know, the SAA team, they were under massive pressure from the Bulls team. And unfortunately, Wandisile Simelane at the wrong place at the wrong time. But, you know, he came back nicely and certainly redeemed himself. But, you know, the one sort of infringement we want to see is from Kwagga Smith here, Nick and Skulk. Yeah. You know, that was really, really silly. And considering what happened during the week, you can't afford it to do, you know, silly stuff at this level. You know, Kwagga, if you play in a test against the British and Irish Lions and do that, you know, it will be yellow card straight away, Nick.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was a sequence of penalties against the SAA team, and poor old Simelane just was on the end of the last one. But this here, where the scrum off tries to play the ball and Kwagga puts his hand through and knocks it out of his hand, that is a definite yellow card. And I think he didn't get a yellow card because Simelane was punished just before. So he was very fortunate. I mean, that's really unnecessary play, that.
Let's take a look at that one, because quite cynical from one of the senior players in the team. Skulk?
Yeah, I mean, the first one was a yellow card as a team warning. This one is a yellow card just for being cynical. So actually, if you fight through the ruck, he's not even through the ruck. If you fight through the ruck and you find yourself in that space with the scrum ups in front of you, you can't kick it through anymore. You can't play the 9, but you can play the arm. If you touch the ball like there, that's cynical. Just on that previous clip, Jean-Luc Dupré, does he have rubber ligaments or something?
What's going on there,
I mean, if
bro?
I'm in that position, it's not only my knee I'm worried about, my hip will dislocate, my back will be on the wrong side. I mean, how he bounced out of that is either incredibly lucky or, yeah, that's amazing.
I'm surprised he's even continued to play. Yeah. Should we not wrap him in cotton and let him sit on the bench?
Oh, it looks terrible, even every time you look at it. And also the thing on his face, the look on his face, you thought his medial ligament had gone, but extraordinary. It was obviously just an uncomfortable position. I mean, his knee goes in, it just looks horrible.
Yeah. The more I look at that, I cringe.
Oh, that does not look good at all. But look, I mean, big grimace on his face, but then he's up on his feet again. But you know what? We'll leave it to the managers. We'll leave it to the managers to make the call. Well, it was a great enterprise by the SAA side. Great try first by Aphelele Fassi. Just walking on water at this stage.
Mots, it was a thing of beauty. I mean, this try, just a whole sort of build-up to the try. You know, Kobus Reinach again show, you know, why he's rated by Rassie and Jacques so highly. I mean, he scored three tries in the World Cup. The hat-trick that he scored, you know, was absolutely not by fluke. And I mean, really some good build-up, some good interplay from forwards and backs and understanding what they're going to do. And here, very important from Kobus, dummies. He saw a forward and Aphelele Fassi, the right place at the right time, and goes over. And this is what Fassi can do for you, but just an all-round fantastic try start.
Right, I love everything about it. The first phase where Pengse targets the 15, that creates that the defense got to split the defense. They've got to watch that blind. That frees up your first runner, Vincent Koch, who comes, plays that little inside ball, and then obviously went blind again. This was just a lot of pressure. I think, you know, on the balance of this first half, the Bulls had more opportunities. If they had better quality, more quality, like the SAA side showed, they would have been in the lead. You know, the SAA side created 3 chances, took 2 of them, and they deserved leaders at halftime.
Well, let's take a quick look at the stats. Nick, you just wanted to add there quickly.
No, just a couple of things. Kuni Oosthuizen was substituted quite early. He gave, I think, 2 or 3 penalties against Van Rooyen, managed to win one. But I think they're 3 loose heads, and they're giving them sort of 25 minutes each, you know, so that everyone gets an opportunity. And just on the point that Sculler made, I must have had 5 or 6 penalties on the line, the Bulls, and they persisted with the pick and goes and the close play. And it was interesting to see the SAA team, when they did get in the same position, just move it one space further out, so just outside the pot of 3, and we saw Simelane getting space and being able to score a try, because it had gone away from the forwards to Dallander, and then another penetration by on the blind, and then great pass inside, Simelane feet, and we had space for him on the reverse to score the try. So just a bit more variation in the SAA team play as opposed to the Bulls, who were very predictable.
And the Bulls only got themselves to blame. I mean, when you break the line, that is just wonderful, you know, when people break the line. And the Bulls, unfortunately, there wasn't any finishing, you know, poor decision-making at times when you maybe need to just get into the wider spaces. And unfortunately, they only got themselves to blame. But I like the intensity of this game at the moment. I think that's what will make Jock and Rusty very happy.
They certainly will be. Let's take a look at some of the substitutions that the coaches will be able to make at halftime. I mean, the benches both loaded at the moment. Who do you bring on, Skulk?
Johanna Grobelaar's already gone on for the Bulls. You know, look, if you look at the SAA side, again, we talk about Jean-Luc Dupré. You know, do you risk him? Do you play further? You know, Reinhard Elstad will move into lock. Jasper Wissel will come on eighth man, and I guess Kwagga will move to open side or blind side with Marco van Staden. But then also you want to see Damian Willemse at 12. You know, we've seen him in short little bursts, but you want him to get a bit more game time. Damian de Allende, we all know, I think, is going to start next weekend, so let's get Damian on as well.
Well, there you have it. Anything you want to add, Nick?
No. I just think it has been closer than 14-0. It's been a better wrestle than that. It was two opportunities well taken by the A team and a lot of effort. But as Brady did mention, really poor decision making. One pass which should have gone before contact by I think one of the outside centres didn't put his wing away, and the other one, Marco Jansen, missed a clear pass on the right wing, which would have given him a bit of acceleration.
Well, let's hold it right there. Let's return now for that second half as the SAA side up against the Vodacom Bulls.
Welcome back to Cape Town Stadium, where South Africa A lead the Vodacom Bulls by 14 points to 0 at halftime. Tries from Apalele Fassi and Wandisile Simelane. What a wonderful view that is, and also the view from that cable car making its way up to the top of Table Mountain. Got our own little cable car here, Spider Cam, giving us the views above the scrums, and just a summary of what we saw in the first half. Vodacom Bulls enjoying the majority of possession and territory, and certainly having their share of chances. Some costly errors in handling at times, but certainly very much up for and in this contest. Change made by Jake White during the first half. Johan Krobelaar replacing Skalka Rasmus at hooker for the SAA side. Kuni Oosthuizen at loosehead prop was replaced by Thomas du Toit. There are other front row options on the bench as well. Both sides naming 24 players ahead of this game. Jan-Hendrik Wessels for the Vodacom Bulls, and also Lizo Moboka for the SAA side. Here's another man on the field at half-time, David Creel in jersey number 23. Marco Janse van Vieren operating over on the left wing, so just casting an eye around. It looks like Stravino Jacobs is the man who's left the field, and FC du Plessis is going to operate on the right wing. He started the game at fullback. David Creel slotting in at fullback.
Stravino Jacobs' hammy went, I think, that last move of the first half when he was going down the touchline. He was grabbing his hamstring as he walked in at halftime.
Yeah, that's correct.
Also on the field, jersey 17 for the Vodacom Bulls. It's Sipiwe Matanzima who's given way for him in the front row. Reinach, Kwagga Smith getting away from Krobelaar.
It's inside.
Reinach with Roscoe Speckman giving chase. Du Plessis lost it forward in his aerial attempt to gather the kick, and it'll be a scrum to the SAA side.
And quite a few changes in that scrum for the Bulls already. As you've mentioned, Simpiwe Matanzima, he's off the field now. He's been replaced by Gerard Steenkamp, but also Jacques van Rooyen off the field for the Vodacom Bulls. He's been replaced by Morne Smith. And let's see how that brand spanking new front row goes for the Bulls.
Crouch. Fine. James.
Well, we saw during the first half what looked like a terrible injury to the knee of Jean-Luc Dupré. Somehow
Ultimate stability before we go to the next call, right?
he was able to get up and retake his place in the second row alongside Nicolas Janse van Rensburg. We spoke about only Jasper Wiese on the bench as a non-front row forward. But worth remembering that with Jesse Creel there, the SAA side will feel comfortable. He had to pack down in the back row on Wednesday evening.
Fine.
Moved up to all the action as Jesse Creel. Really keen to get on. Already the angles, this is going to go down straight away.
Finding short and collapsing it. Number
I want to come
18.
back to something you said on Wednesday evening. The coaches would want scrum completions. The most penalties in this game have come at scrum time. There's very little set piece. We were seeing attacks being launched or phases being kicked off. Even line out has also been well contested on both sides.
But it gets frustrating, you know. You watch that and it is illegal. You don't want props changing their angles, scrumming towards the hooker. The rules are pretty simple. Scrum square. Already Mornay Smith on that setup there, he's already scrumming in towards the hooker. I mean, that's clear and obvious. He's got to scrum straight. You've got to earn your scrums and not try, you know, use different angles to get ascendancy.
Weber for Dupree and the SAA side trying to get a maul going. Well repelled at first by the Bulls. Going nowhere but sideways, and look at Zach Burger working hard in there. So too Kobus Reinach. Not often you see two scrum halves in the middle of a maul, and that is going to be a turnover of possession for the Bulls.
All the little men getting into the mixer. Zach Burger. It was a messy maul and never really getting it, or not well set, let me say, from the South African A team. So Burger managing to get through, but how did the two scrum halves end up in there? So Kobus Reinach tried to play it, obviously under pressure. Drever had Bulls players all over him. So he's just fighting to hold it up. That's not a fair battle. 1, 2, 3, 8 Bulls players around Kobus Reinach. He's surrounded.
Group hug.
Yeah, it's a group hug. Held up.
Off the back from Steenkamp. And oh, that's gone wrong for Du Plessis. And SAA side wanting to get things going quickly and just a little overzealous, and perfectly entitled to play quickly, but have lost the ball forward. Mornay Smith taking the ball another 10 metres or so infield to improve the angle for Zach Burger, but Roscoe Speckman collecting on the bounce. Reinach, Dweber, ball under the right arm and looking for contact. Fussy at first receiver, dangerous runner, brought down by Krobala. Dupree never brought down in the tackle, so allowed to get back to his feet. Away by Reinach for Smith through the first tackle. Flung to ground by Du Plessis, but quick ball for Reinach. Dupree, Delindi couldn't hang on. Well, the soft touches are not sticking on either side at this point.
Not a bad option from Dupree. He tried to step on the outside, a big guy like Damian Delinda running. I think he probably called for it. So trying to use those soft touches to get the half gaps.
Let's go, please.
It's just a basic knock-on, to be honest. And Damian Delinda in that position with good hands, with good feet, could have created something.
Yeah, the timing a little bit off there as well. The option was a good one, but Damien, the timing just a bit off, and you actually had to stop on that pass and just not getting it to your hand.
Okay, let's go, please, Green. Let's go, time on. Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go.
Jacques Nienaber giving the instructions, and oh, well, good to see Rassie Erasmus has taken Warren Gatlin's advice seriously. He's got the water. Just love the banter. Just creates that bit of needle, that bit of spice. We're a week out from what promises to be an epic test series.
Fine. Set.
Scrum completion for the Bulls, and as their scrum advance, so Johan Corson got extra time, but
never onside. We just keep on moving.
Maurice van der Vester isn't calling them back for a penalty. It was a long way back. He did
You can't. The ball is passed 20 meters back and you just keep on advancing, number 6.
Yeah, and he's right there. What's happened is Nizam Khar's in the scrum. He's been passed back to Quirson and he's in front of the ball and he's carrying on to going. He's got to wait for the players behind Quirson or Quirson to put him on side and then start going. They say Nizam Khar is going.
That's his sign for, well, what effect did it have? I suppose Apalele Fassi would have been keen on a bit of a counter there, maybe give it some time to develop. Dweber's throw intended for Janse van Rensburg. Yet another contest. It's almost every line-out that the Bulls have got men in the air and made it difficult for the SAA side to achieve clean ball. Now Fassi gets his opportunity. And a wonderful line from Roscoe Speckman as well. He's got Reinach away to his left, perhaps a fraction early on the pass. And Reinach is in touch.
Yeah, great work by the back three of the SAA team. Fassi using that opportunity, and great line by Roscoe Speckman, just breaking through those tackles with the speedy approach. Probably should have held on to this one. Quirson making the decision to go. Good defense by Nizam Khar and Johan Quirson there.
And John, that's the danger of Roscoe Speckman. No, miss kick. He's got the ability to punish you. And Nizam Khar working hard. Really, Roscoe Speckman, one of the most dangerous wings in the country.
And a substitution for the SA team. Sanele Nohamba on the field, they're replacing Kubuswena.
The ball going to the SAA side against the throw. It was secured on the ground by Vincent Koch. Sanele Nohamba straight into the mix, but the SAA side then losing the ball. Contact and Quirson to make his clearance. Fassi thinks about getting going quickly for Speckman.
Yeah, and the lineouts both sides have become kind of messy, where you're not securing the ball on your own ball. So the ball's on your own throw. Sorry, the Bulls missed one SAA team stealing one back from the Bulls.
Yeah.
So really it's become a bit of a lottery now at lineout time. You can see what the Bulls do well is that they'll set up one way, almost set a trap for you, a hole, and then move late for the contest.
Yeah, another change at hooker this time. Fezukhuhle Mbata replacing Joseph Dweber at hooker. That's lost forward by Elton Yankees.
It's good, advantage, knock on.
And Zach Burger quick to pounce and exploit a half gap in front of him, away by Forster for Janse van Vuren.
Advantage over for the knock on.
It's just a scrum advantage being played, which is now called over as Krobelaar makes the carry. Now a new advantage, penalty advantage this time. And Nizam Khar upended in the tackle by the diminutive frame of Sanele Nohamba.
A good tackle technique from Sanele Nohamba. That's rushed up though, but almost to get line speed and make a leg tackle, because you've got to dip nice and early and manage your height. Nohamba did that very well.
When you're under 70 kilos in this game, you need good technique.
Well, this is bad technique. Vincent Koch on the scrum off going high. Everything now in terms of collisions, you've got to manage your height well, because you can find yourself on the side of the field.
A couple more subs for the Bulls. Keegan Johannes on the field replacing Zach Burger. And also Anubueta on for one of the loose.
Big clean from Kwagga Smith, and then he looked to put hands over there. Wouldn't be allowed in the ruck, and Johannes finds Nizam Khar away to his right. Just couldn't hang on. Had some promise. There's another change for the SAA side as well. It's Wilco Lowe who has come onto the field.
Nizam Khar again trying to do that outside breakables, but had the touchline here. Wilco Lowe, 2 weeks ago, Premiership champion. not playing for the SAA team.
And scorer of a try in the final at Twickenham as well.
Yes,
and
just
arguably, or perhaps not so arguably, owner of the most extraordinary thighs in world rugby.
Built to scrum.
Another pressure line out from the Bulls, away by Hendricks. And Forster.
Counter-ruck is fine.
Now, big counter-ruck from the SAA side. Fussy filling in at scrum half. Held up by Cornel Hendricks.
Release it.
Quagga Smith won't find a way past Krobela.
It's outside. It's taken back.
Taken back into the 22 at ruck time. Nohamba going just about 10 meters, but gathered by Yao Penkle. Another kick from Nohamba, this time charged down.
Thank you.
Just trying to get that over the top. But Nohamba will definitely pick up the intensity and tempo.
Yeah, good play there by Nohamba. A couple of changes for the SA team as well. The midfield being replaced. Damien Delende and Wandisile Simalani coming off. They've been replaced by Damien Willems and Jesse Creel.
There could be some concern for both teams. It's crucial line-out, you know, trying to set the platform when the maul is so crucial. Another missed one there, or scrappy one.
Or yet another contest. I mean, even the ones that have been won on the own throw have not been quality ball. Jesse Creel with his first touch. Forced backwards in contact. Getting possession under pressure. Nohamba, Smith. Space very quickly closed down in front of Quagga Smith. Nohamba on to David Creel, who remains resolute under the high ball, and Speckman in with a tackle and quick to get back to his feet, but
Back on side 21. Offside in the pillar. 21.
it's Nohamba who's penalised. Also, it may have been against Speckman as well. He made a good tackle, but then bounced quickly to make himself a defensive option again. And was he onside? No, he was never onside either.
Well, the big question is, how do the Bulls unlock this or the South African A defense? Because they've had more than enough opportunities, first half and second half, especially in this area, but nothing for it.
And Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg getting up this time on a Bulls throw to tap back the steal. And secured on the ground by Marco van Staden.
Use it now, 9.
And Yankees' clearance up towards halfway. Duplessis gathers, and no option for the quick throw because Roscoe Speckman doing really hard work off the ball as he has done. It's been precious little opportunity for Springboks 7-star. And
6.
Jasper Visser on the field, replacing Marco van Staden.
Test debut for him against Georgia off the bench, having made such a massive impression for Leicester Tigers in the English Premiership. Clean line-out win, a rare thing in the hour or so far. Harold Forster running a good line. It looked suspiciously forward, that offload, but they can go again. Volpstein Cup. Not having it their own way at that breakdown, and Goosen really forced into the kick, and tracking back was Fussy to claim the mark.
And the reason that to kick there, because they were getting bashed on the gain line by the Springbok defenders. Even the counter-ruckers are flying in. So the Bulls struggling to get in momentum, forced into the kick. A defensive win for the South African A team.
The SAA side went scoreless in the second half on Wednesday evening against the British and Irish Lions. They led by 17 points to 3 at half time. Ended up prevailing by 17 points to 13. Still nothing on the board in the second half so far. The 2 tries and 2 conversions. Well, Damian Willemse has gone in with that tackle that perhaps looked a little reckless in real time. Almost getting caught out by the step of Johan Koersen.
6-7 has got to get out of there.
And Johannes with a quick tap and go from the penalty over the top from Creel for Carr. Lost forward by the Vodacom Bulls captain. And now Jesse Creel off on a counter and finds Duprier, who was looking for Speckman. Interception made by Nokia. David Creel, big ball over the top for Botha. And Marco Jansen van Vieren met hard in the tackle.
Was that Alton Yankees? And his play on?
His play on. Ball not touched by anyone outside the field of play. Jasper Wiese taking his first contact. Mbata. Nohamba back for Damian Willemse, who has spotted a huge amount of space behind David Creel, and excellent touch for Damian Willemse, who slotted in nicely both against Georgia and the British and Irish Lions in a Springbok jersey, then an SAA jersey in the inside centre position.
Big sub 14.
Yeah, big tackle here by Alton Yankees.
That's big from a fly half. Sean, that's a proper smack. Straight in the sweet spot. Got the height completely right.
Yeah, sure.
Sabu Nkosi on the pitch as well. He'll try and link up with Apelela Fassi and Roscoe Speckman. So exciting, those 3 with the counter attack. Fassi's been really good tonight. Well, today.
They ran a beautiful line off Kobus Reinach after the scrum half had made the initial break to get the opening score of the game.
Come on.
So covered the backfield well. He's read the kicking game of the Bulls pretty effectively as well.
Yeah. 49.
Robelaar for Steenkamp at the front. Muller Ace sets up the ruck, and Keegan Johannes back for Koersen, whose clearance easily fielded in touch by Sabu Nkosi, who gets things going, and Speckman siding through the gap. And a wide ball doesn't find Alton Yankees. Just tried to stop his run almost, Roscoe Speckman, to steady himself for the pass.
Final spaces. Don't find touch and you'll get punished by Roscoe Speckman. This is the second run has been on. It's just the final pass is on landing.
That's it there. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's the difference. That's the level up. We know how great Speckman can be on attack, but it's being able to finish those, to score the tries, because in Test match rugby you only get a few, and if you get an opportunity like that, those passes need to stick, and you need to get the 5 points.
Crouch. Crouch. Fine.
Final quarter of the game to go here. Complete reshuffle of the back division for the SAA side. 2 new midfielders, a new winger, a new scrum half for them.
Got it. Great turnover with 10.
And the turnover 1 for the SAA side. Nohamba, Visa. Ball ripped out by Goosen, but brings a scrum advantage. Travelling slightly backwards, but still in possession as Nohamba gets it away for Dan Dupree. Wilco Low, as he demonstrated in that English Premiership final, very tough to stop when he gets even a semblance of momentum. Fussy.
Okay, there's no advantage. Under pressure all the time, knock on by number 10, Blue.
Back for the scrum in a favourable position for SAA.
It was also a good scrum that last one for the South African A team. Putting the Bulls under pressure, the ball messy at the back of the scrum.
Come on, can we go?
And a great opportunity for Wilco Low. We saw what he did in the Premiership. Can he do the same for the SAA team? We know how important the scrums will be going into the test matches, and can he force his way into that 23 for the box?
Crouch. Bind. Set. Just going to your knees, number 18.
So the penalty is awarded against Mornay Smith. They'll kick to touch. I suppose there's arguments on both sides for trying to just get a bit more clarity, a bit more accuracy at line-out time, but also trying to get some completed scrums.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just messy collapse here, forcing the ref's hand at them. But the Bulls, where they've been quite smart, they'll sell the picture, they move late.
Advantage, knock on.
Mbato,
clinical.
Mbato was to the tail for Reynard Elstad. It was lofted forward but kicked away by the Bulls, so advantage for the knock-on over. And Speckman head first into contact. Nohamba, Mbata. And Yankees for Willemse. Creel, Fussy somehow managing to regather after a little juggle. Wilco Low, strong carry from the replacement tight head. Then Thomas Tutoy. Krobela with one hand over the ball and has got it.
We'll talk about staying in the perch. That's Krobela did that extremely well. One hand. And a lot of the South African A cleaners just missing the threat over the ball, and he stuck in there. Good effort from the Vodacom Bulls hooker.
Coordination not quite there at breakdown time in the manner that we saw on Wednesday evening, Shim. As carriers just getting slightly isolated. We saw some ferocious cleaning from this SAA side, particularly in the first 40 minutes of Wednesday's game. Hasn't quite been there this afternoon.
Yeah, the game's losing a bit of shape. You look at the missed set piece opportunities. South African A line out their chances at a more, but not really getting into that starter move to get a bit of momentum, and then starting to get into sort of your attacking shape from there.
Down by Steenkamp and quickly moved into the midfield for Hendricks, and then FC Du Plessis. He's 20 years of age and back at the Bulls after a short stint post-school at Toulon in France. And here's the gap from Goosen inside for Keegan Johannes. That's a beautiful score from the Bulls, and nothing less than they deserve for their efforts.
Well, Johan Goosen take a bow. First was the linking from the forwards playing behind there, but getting through the rush because Goosen has got so much speed. He put the hammer down, pulled the trigger, and he was gone. Good support line. But the hands here, no care. But look what Goosen does. He's incredibly quick, beating the inside defender, the catch-up defender. And the inside support line.
60.
Excellent from Keegan Johannes. But Goosen, they're all created by him. Also the passing of the forward, the soft little touches through the hole.
Johan Goosen has made a real impression on Jake White since returning to South Africa, to Pretoria. Jake White said during the week he'd be very surprised if he doesn't play Test rugby again.
Well, only 7 points in it now. Thomas du Toit being stuck a little bit there on defence on the inside. Goosen seeing that, exploiting it, and then a great support line by the number 9, Keegan Johannes.
He had a quick look up and saw he had 2 tight forwards in his path. Johan Goosen, Thomas du Toit and Jean-Luc Dupré getting caught out. Amazing to think that Johan Goosen is still only 28 years of age. So much has happened in his career. Internationally.
Inside.
Also with his stints at Racing Metro and Montpellier. Clearly still much to offer, and the offload is again good from him this time. Through the hands to Muller-Ace, and then David Creel. Here's Du Plessis kicking to the inside. It's all on the bounce, and Kromela is in under the post. Wow!
From downtown, the ball's again created by Goosen, a little one-handed offload to Muller-Ace. Jake White smiling there, but exceptional try from the Bulls. Johan Grobler, what was he doing up there?
Just waiting for something to clear.
You kidding me, the hooker up there. But look at this from Goosen. Because of the lines being rushed, he gets that one-handed pass away. Muller-Ace looking ball in both hands. They might look at the pass.
Yeah,
they might look at that pass. But Du Plessis does the right thing here. And what is the hooker doing up there? But that pass might be looked at.
It won't be looked at now because Johan Goosen has added the extra 2, and we're tied up with 12 minutes to go.
The try stands, and it's Goosen again. Spots the gap. Muller-Ace with a fantastic line. The offload, the speed to get to Elton Jantjies. David Creel offloading to the support player who spoke about Messi earlier on. The rugby skills, the kicking skills in rugby still there. Johan Grobler going over. A fantastic try by the Vodacom Bulls.
So how will this SAA side respond? Some players on the field now in green, gold and white who will want to stake a final claim for a possible test match selection.
Thank you.
Damien Willemse was in front of Elton Jantjies when he made the kick, so called off it, and then Goosen again influential as he gets away from Roscoe Speckman. Fussy. Jantjies, and a good read from FC Du Plessis.
He's run 5, he was outside of the 10 and he's run 5.
Morné Smith. Real spring in the step now of these Vodacom Bulls players as Hendricks gets it away for Nizam Carr, and then Marco Janse van Vuren. Captain Carr filling in at scrum half. Goosen, Creel holding the tackle with the pass away for Muller-Ace, and then FC Du Plessis. Keegan Johannes just pointing out a stray hand in there, perhaps from SAA. Marius van der Westhuizen isn't happy. The cross kick is perfect for Nizam Carr, and then Marco Janse van Vuren up that left touchline, and just a stray foot in touch.
Yes.
Well, he needed to get that pass in. That's a try, chucked away. It's a kick from to Nizam Carr. Does the right thing, the support line. But this pass here, inside pass, there's a Bulls player, Nizam Carr and Cornel Hendricks. That's a try. Bulls have come alive now, and Johan Goosen is controlling things.
Yeah, he has been controlling things. Unfortunately, he's calling it a day. He's been replaced by Chris Smith. Fantastic game by Johan Goosen, certainly staking a claim to the Springbok selectors and coaches, showing still what he can do.
Defensively, we're fine.
Jean, what a game he's had. Just involved in his decision-making. Good. This was crucial for the try, but really, he's got speed, brave defensively, great kicking game, incredible vision.
Yeah, and you can just see how dangerous it is when it opens up a little bit as well. He played a lot of rugby in the midfield at Racing and at Montpellier, playing at 13 a lot for them. So he's got the ability of being the general and playing at 10, but also the skills, the pace, and everything you need to play in the midfield as well.
Thank you.
Another change at loose head for the SAA side. Thomas du Toit, who replaced Kuni Oosthuizen for the end of the first half, is now in turn replaced by Lizo Moboka. Bata finds Nicholas Janse van Rensburg with Janko Swanepoel, the man in the air, creating the contest for the Bulls. That maul pulled down. Real opportunity that SAA have created immediate momentum from a line-out drive.
Now this is a wonderful test also for the South African A team. You know, there will be lessons learned here. Given up quite a lot of set-piece, scrummed well at times, but really haven't had the dominance up front that they would like. It's been physical like any South African team at the breakdown, at the collision areas. You know, the SAA team definitely in the first 15-20 minutes dominated territory with their kicking game, winning the aerial battle. But they'll look to wrap this up, and this is the challenge they'll want to get over here. So use the maul to try generate territory through penalties. Not like that though.
No, Janko Swanepoel again, the contester, and winning it for the Bulls. Beautiful soft hands from Harold Forster. Had some wonderful touches here this afternoon. Imagine how pleased Jake White will be to have Coerson and Forster confirmed in his ranks on their showing here this afternoon.
Yeah, Matthew, it's also good for South African rugby. Look at our teams with Pollard, Alton Yankees, and then Monestan, and then you've got a guy like Coerson who's back in the country, and he's looked good today up against very good opposition. So still Currie Cup competition to go. We'll see a lot of these guys. He's run good lines. Cornel Hendricks, we've spoken about him all season, how good he's been. So some real good experienced players coming back.
Yeah, and isn't it sad that we won't be seeing the Bulls playing against the British and Irish Lions, the one fixture that got cancelled? Would have been great to see how they matched up against the formidable Lions team.
Fine. Set. Okay, it's just a slip there.
The Bulls here not looking to make the scrum a contest. The ball in and out, you can already see it. Miller Ace and Jan-Hendrik Wessels at hooker. We've seen him tighthead, loose head under the hooker. So Jake White believing this is his future position. Played 1 or 2 club games at hooker. We haven't seen enough of his line-out throwing yet. But really a talented athlete for the SA under-20s. He played loose head and he was pretty dominant at age group level. Probably struggled scrumming at scrum time against senior players on open rugby, but that will come with time. So you have a look here. Miller Ace is going to change his position at the back of the scrum.
Just straight down on the engagement. Straight down on the engagement.
And you can just see how the Bulls have grown in confidence. Even the bench here next to me, they really believe that they can win this game, and they've now suddenly got a kick to take the lead.
Jean, and it was a practice game till now. So on the engagement, these guys would know each other pretty well. Lizo Moboka not really getting the bind, and it going straight down to the low-hanging fruit right there.
So Chris Smith entrusted with the kick. Nizam Kar pointing to the posts when that penalty was awarded. very effective player for Stellenbosch University in the Varsity Cup and also for the Pumas before making his way to Pretoria for the Bulls. And is there enough on that? You bet there is. The Vodacom Bulls trailed by 14-0 at half-time. They've hit the front with 4.5 minutes to play in Cape Town.
Wow, what a kick. Initially, I thought it might be a little bit short, but perfect kick, actually.
Yankees, his restart fielded by Forster, and Keegan Johannes makes an excellent clearance, almost up to halfway. Oh, and a shove on one of the SAA second row forwards. That just shows you the mindset that they're in right now.
And remember, from an SAA point of view, they're pushing for test spots and the opportunity to prove that they can step up. So there might be a couple of questions there, but still plenty of time for them to get the lead.
First job done. Fez Mbata finds Jean-Luc Dupré at the front of the line out, and they bring a penalty advantage.
Side entry 19.
Penalty goes against Janko Swanepoel. I think the problem SAA side had there is that two players broke off. There was one in front of the ball carrier, so they couldn't carry on. It was effectively a new maul.
Alton Yankees always gets it out on the 5-meter. Stock standard, one of the best line kickers in the country.
Yeah, that creates a great opportunity for the SA team. Fantastic kick by Alton Yankees, and as mentioned, Shimmy, it just, those couple of meters makes a massive difference.
No contest this time as Jean-Luc Dupré goes high, and immediately a call of use it from
Own players.
Marius van der Westhuizen, and now Mbata.
Tackle!
Dragged back by Nizam Kar. Nohamba and Wilco Lowe scored from a similar position in that Premiership final a few weeks ago. The SAA side believe they've got it down. They haven't, says Marius van der Westhuizen.
Scrum.
Big scrum coming up. Well, SAA team trying to rumble it up. Nizam Kar feeling it on the shoulder. Pretty difficult customer to stop.
We're not checking
Jean-Luc Dupré.
No.
Huh? Does he have this? No.
Yeah. We don't need to check it, guys. I've clearly got it held up. It's scrum attacking ball.
Wilco is going to dig in here. Big scrum for the South African A team.
Let's go. No. Let's go. It's clearly held up.
Wonderful commitment from Nizam Kar, and so too Chris Smith, just getting his arm underneath as Dupré
it's good game.
Carried over the line. Massive scrum here. Massive scrum, and you got the pace of Kwaka Smith also at the back of the South African A scrum. Because the Bulls loose forwards have to commit to the scrum.
Crouch. And
if he breaks, he can beat anyone around the side of the scrum.
Fine. Gents.
Look at that clock ticking away.
Yeah, I'll call it.
On the reset.
That's it there.
Really thought it was an excellent feature of some of the domestic rugby competitions where at one reset,
Crouch.
Clock was stopped.
Let's go, Mora. Fine. Set.
And another.
Clear, guys.
Again, it's the angles.
Yeah, sure. Just even hit.
One thing Marius van der Westhuizen doesn't do is just give away a needless penalty for something on the setup, but can't take 3 minutes at the end to get a scrum completion.
And now has become the absolute last throw of the dice.
It's one of those go up or down, but never backwards.
Set.
And Kwagga Smith does indeed pick up at the base of the scrum. Tackled by Nizam Khan. Miller Ace making a contest over the ball.
On there. Knock on. No release. 7. 7.
The penalty goes against Miller Ace. Now what do the SAA side do? Going for the tap and go. Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg.
Got knocked on.
Looks like it was lost forward and gathered by Nizam Khan, who kicks the ball out over the dead ball line and raises his arms in triumph. A wonderful opportunity for the Vodacom Bulls to come and participate. They were denied a game against the British and Irish Lions due to COVID restrictions, and the Sharks filled in with a second game for them on that occasion, so they were quick to answer the call for the opportunity to come and play against the South African A side, a game that was only confirmed during the course of yesterday after rigorous testing regimes and so on, but a game that has ultimately left Jacques Nienaber, Rassie Erasmus and the whole coaching team of the extended Springbok squad with perhaps more questions than they would have wanted a week out from the first test against the British and Irish Lions. South Africa A led by 14 points to 0 at half-time with tries from Fassi and Simelane. And the Bulls hitting back with tries from Keegan Johannes and Johan Grobelaar. Chris Smith's penalty ultimately winning it for them full-time at Cape Town Stadium. South Africa A 14, Vodacom Bulls 17.